Today is really all about eating for your hormones and eating for balanced blood sugar, and how that pertains to your overall health as a female, especially now that you've had quite a long time of doing all of the steps in the Happy Hormones program, and maybe just need some help optimizing your mood, your energy, and your sleep. So I'm going to be sharing with you just some simple meal strategies, kind of how to plan your meals throughout the day, for balanced blood sugar, which does relate to a healthy mood. And then we'll talk a little bit about specific issues and what you should be focusing on, what you should be having in your meals for those particular issues. So one of the biggest issues that I see for women who are wanting to balance their hormones, or have already, they've gotten rid of their mood swings for the most part, irritability, fatigue, but maybe they're still having some dips in energy throughout the day, or they're having, anxiety in the morning, etc. The biggest issue I see is actually too low of caloric intake, not enough carbohydrates, and not enough protein. And a lot of this really does come down to distorted diet culture, right? So we've all been trained, that we really shouldn't eat more than 1,200 calories a day. And we definitely shouldn't eat carbs because carbs are bad. But carbs are really essential for women's hormones. So obviously picking and choosing the right kind of carbohydrates is really what's going to make the biggest difference. And so we do have to be mindful of that. Um, but carbs are not bad. And so when we're talking about setting up your day so that you have balanced hormones, balanced energy, balanced mood, there are some key strategies that you need to have in place. So the first thing is really making sure that you are getting 20 to 30 grams of protein with every single meal. I know that feels like a lot, but that's really on the low end. And I want to explain why protein is important, because whether or not you're vegan, vegetarian, a meat eater, somewhere in the middle, or you prefer, like me, you kind of tend towards not eating dark meat, or you don't have a craving for that, protein is still essential. So protein provides what we call amino acids, which you're probably familiar with, and amino acids are essential for every cellular process in your body. But specifically, they are responsible for mood regulation because of how they create neurotransmitters, those mood chemicals that we actually need to feel well all month long. We need that for sustained sleep. We need that for sustained energy. And we need that for a healthy mood. So getting those amino acid profiles in through a variety of protein sources throughout the day is really essential, to provide your body the building blocks that it needs. Now, the other thing with protein is that it is responsible. You have to have protein and amino acids to actually make progesterone. So if you've done all of the steps of the Happy Hormones program and you're still kind of finding yourself experiencing some low progesterone symptoms like mood swings, irritability, irregular periods, then we are going to want to focus on making sure that you're getting those well-rounded meals to ensure that you're getting enough protein so that your body actually has the building blocks that it needs to make progesterone. So again, how we do that is 20 to 30 grams of protein with each meal throughout the day. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you tend to be the kind of person that doesn't really eat until noon, first of all, I would challenge that and say we need to start moving that backward, 1 hour at a time, because you really need to be eating within about an hour of waking up for balanced cortisol and balanced blood sugar. So some great meal ideas for the morning that are just really simple. Obviously, you can put a scoop or two of collagen peptides in whatever you're drinking. So if you make your coffee and then you drive your kids to school, making sure that you've got, that's easily 20 grams of protein in there. The other option then, of course, is to make a smoothie. So a lot of times I will grab my protein powder, which I will share with you in the comments below. The one that I'm using currently a scoop of protein powder, maybe a tablespoon of peanut butter or sunflower seed butter, some greens, and whatever milk I'm using. And that's easily, again, 20 grams of protein. So if you find that you're not super hungry in the mornings, you still need that protein to get you through the morning and balance your blood sugar and your cortisol. This is especially true if you tend towards anxiety before your periods, or insomnia, because that typically indicates a blood sugar or cortisol imbalance. So making sure that you're getting that at the beginning of the day will actually transfer over to how you feel at the end of the day. So obviously you can do things like breakfast sausage. Sometimes I will do like turkey wraps. I'll wrap bacon inside some turkey and a little bit of mayonnaise in there. And you can wrap it in lettuce if you want to. Kind of depends on just what I'm feeling like. With green beans or Brussels sprouts or something like that in the morning, that I've got my protein and my greens. But typically I need to add some other source of protein besides meat if it's not a large portion of meat, especially since I tend to not be super hungry in the morning. So making sure with your meals that you are getting carbohydrates. Now, some of this will depend on how you feel and how your body responds. I notice for myself that I do really well if I kind of avoid carbohydrates during the day, specifically starchy carbohydrates like potatoes, etc., during the day, but I do really well when I have them before bed. Part of this is because of my cortisol needs, and because of my past history with insomnia. So carbohydrates actually help to kind of balance your blood sugar throughout the nighttime when they're paired with protein. So I tend to make sure that at dinner time, I've got a good source of carbohydrates, some greens, and a protein source, which typically ends up either being like lean chicken or ground beef or a hamburger or something like that. You can keep it simple, but making sure that you're having those kind of spaced out in your meals throughout the day so that you are getting that balanced blood sugar at nighttime. So if you notice, if you are the type of person that tends to have more like anxiety at nighttime, then you need to make sure that one, you eat a balanced dinner, and then you probably also need a bedtime snack. So sometimes that anxiety at nighttime is not related to, like, it's not a psychological thing, it's actually a cortisol thing. And so how we balance that is by getting, protein and carbohydrates in the evening before you go to bed so that your blood sugar stays balanced throughout the night. For people who tend towards insomnia, what we need to do is more protein and more fat at nighttime. So that can be something like a jerky stick. It can be like nuts and seeds. Celery with peanut butter is a great option. Crackers with peanut butter, maybe a slice of toast with peanut butter on it or on the side. And just have that before bed and just pay attention to, okay, does that help me in the morning? Does that help me throughout the night? Do I feel rested in the morning? Those things are really important for balancing out our blood sugar and our cortisol. We can't really go without them. So again, you're going to want to balance out your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates so that you're having a balanced amount, of each of them with every meal throughout the day. And then, protein, like I said, is essential for balancing out our blood sugar and our cortisol. So if you are the type of person that when you wake up in the morning, you feel anxious, you feel jittery, you feel hangry, you're like, I can't think, I can't answer questions, I'm just like, don't talk to me, don't mess with me. You need protein and carbohydrates to regulate your cortisol and your blood sugar, especially in the morning. So and if you're the type of person like me who used to wake up with, panic attacks and anxiety in the morning, what I needed was carbohydrates. My body desperately needed blood sugar in the morning, because what happens is I was having these low blood sugar in the morning, and then that low blood sugar was triggering a huge spike in my cortisol that actually created panic attacks. It wasn't really psychological at all. It was all physiological in my body. So Things that can help with that, I will often grab like a piece of Happy Camper toast, which is gluten-free bread, and just about a teaspoon of peanut butter on there, add my collagen peptides to my tea or have my smoothie, and then be on with my morning. Because again, I don't have a huge appetite in the morning, but my blood sugar desperately needs that food. So these are some basic principles that every woman kind of has to figure out their sweet spot. And it does take some trial and error of trying out. Do I feel better with carbs in the morning or protein and fat? Do I feel better with, a really like fatty dinner, meaning like, like a hamburger with bacon and avocado and some greens on the side for dinner. And that really helps me to sleep really well. Or do I feel better when I have, a pretty decent serving of carbohydrates with my nighttime meal? So these are some things that are trial and error, but you're going to be wanting to pay attention, especially if you're noticing like my periods are awesome, my mood is pretty good, but I'm not staying full throughout the day. I'm not recognizing that I'm hungry until I'm hangry. Those kind of things that's our body giving us cues that there's some work that needs to be done, so that we can have those balanced energy throughout the day.